Michael Chiesa versus Neil Magny takes place in the main event of UFC Fight Night Fight Island 8, Chiesa versus Magny, and I can't wait for this welterweight bout. Both guys got a lot of momentum right now in that welterweight division. They've been going on a bit of a run recently, both on 3-fight win streaks. I feel like this bout is to figure out who is the best of the rest of the welterweight division, because they're not quite in that area of the top of the welterweights where everyone's looking for their title elimination bout or title shot. They're sort of outside of that bracket, but the winner of this one is definitely going to put themselves ahead of the rest of the welterweight division, in my opinion. Both guys on 3-fight win streaks, as I said. I do believe that Neil Magny is going to get the job done here over Michael Chiesa. I'm not going to stall this out any longer. Magny will get the win over Michael Chiesa, in my opinion. I just think he's a little bit more well-rounded. He's got better stand-up by far. I know Michael Chiesa has dropped the likes of Jorge Masvidal in his career, but I'm not really going to look too much into that, because I have eyes, and they work, and I look at the screen sometimes, and I watch Michael Chiesa throw his hands, and I understand that Neil Magny is better than him by far at striking, and that's just not even an argument, in my opinion, coming into this bout. However, Michael Chiesa does want to take things to the ground. Neil Magny's been submitted on the ground by Rafael dos Anjos in his career. He's also been taken down other times, but overall, I think he's shown quite good takedown defense in his career so far. That sort of Rafael dos Anjos loss was a little bit weird, but I will say this: he didn't even get taken down in the Rafael dos Anjos fight. He got leg kicked after going for a jab, fell to his back after the leg kick landed. Great leg kick by RDA, don't get me wrong. Fell to his back after the leg kick landed, and then just was straight into side control with RDA on top of him, and then RDA was straight into mount, straight into the arm triangle, and it was kind of just a downward spiral from there. I don't know how much I'm going to put that in. I don't know how much weight I'm going to put behind that loss coming into this one, because he might have stuffed every takedown RDA threw against him. RDA didn't even shoot in that fight, but still, I feel like Neil Magny's takedown defense is good enough to hold up against Michael Chiesa, but look at their 3-fight win streaks. I feel like Michael Chiesa has the best win overall. Rafael dos Anjos is a great win to have, not only because he has a win over Neil Magny, but also because he's a big name in the welterweight division. I feel like he's getting a little bit older, and we're starting to see the same sort of style be able to beat Rafael dos Anjos. Usman did it, Covington did it, even Leon Edwards was able to take him down a couple of times and control him there. Where now Michael Chiesa goes out there and gets the job done. Don't get me wrong, Michael Chiesa is a very good grappler. He's got great grappling control. He submitted Beneil Dariush. It's a really good win to have, but I just don't see him going out there and smushing Neil Magny, who's shown great takedown defense in his career. And I think the one thing that he's improved most over these past few years is his grappling ability, because he's been taking down his opponents and controlling them on the ground. We saw in the Robbie Lawler fight. He just sort of controlled Robbie Lawler. I know Lawler's getting older, but Magny kind of displayed more control than Colby Covington did against Robbie Lawler. I know Lawler looks very old in that Magny fight, don't get me wrong, and the same with RDA recently as well. I know he beat Paul Felder, but on 5 days' notice, make it a little bit more dominant if you're RDA still, you know what I mean? But I like the 3-fight win streaks from both of them. I think that Michael Chiesa has the better win overall in RDA, but the other two wins, Diego Sanchez and Carlos Condit, I know Condit just beat Matt Brown, but I don't know how much weight I put behind those wins compared to the overall wins of Neil Magny's career. I know Robbie Lawler is an older guy as well, but then you've got Anthony Rocco Martin, who I have a lot of respect for in that division. Went to a majority decision against Damian Maia. I know Maia got the job done, but Anthony Rocco Martin made it very, very close indeed. Then you've got Neil Magny. He beat Li Jingliang. That looks really good now. Another win to have on your record in that welterweight division. And Neil Magny, I'm sure that Li Jingliang's going to be ranked very soon. Not only because he beat Santiago Ponzinibbio, but also because they're having an event in Asia soon. And I assume that Li Jingliang's going to be the co-main, so he's got to have a ranking next to his name. But Neil Magny beat both of them and dominated Li Jingliang, start to finish, really, really shut him down, and that looks really good now, knowing what a savage Li Jingliang can be against a guy like Santiago Ponzinibbio. Was Ponzinibbio rusty? Yes, but Li Jingliang has shown over his career that he's definitely a winning MMA fighter and a very good fighter indeed. And Magny's shutting people down. He's got great stand-up, great takedowns. I don't see him shooting on Michael Chiesa, but I don't think the judging right now either favours a guy like Michael Chiesa's style, which is not very damage inflicting. One thing we haven't seen from Michael Chiesa in his career is ground and pound. And that seems to be all you need to do as a grappler now. You need to be able to ground and pound. You can't just control someone on the ground, because we saw this in Condit versus Matt Brown. All three judges gave the first round to Carlos Condit, despite him being on bottom and being outstruck significant strike-wise, because he landed more total strikes off his back. He was touching up Matt Brown on the ground. When you've got a long guy like Neil Magny, it gives him a lot of opportunities to land off of his back. He's got long arms, really long arms. He's got a 5-inch reach advantage here. He's a giant guy, 6'3". It's hard to control control all of him on the ground the same way you can do against a Diego Sanchez and a Rafael dos Anjos, and Sanchez was staying in there, not getting submitted. I know Sanchez has underrated jiu-jitsu, but still, he should be really putting away some of these people on the ground, in my opinion, if he's going to be going out there and dominating Neil Magny over 5. And that's another huge part of this fight as well. 5 rounds does not favour Michael Chiesa's game because he is always tired by the end of his fights. I know he keeps a good pace with his grappling, but I feel like Neil Magny, over the 5 rounds, is going to really be able to take advantage of Michael Chiesa, who's shown to slow down in his career overall. Neil Magny's been 5 rounds in his career. I know he got beaten by Santiago Ponzinibbio in round 4 or something, but he had some good rounds in there. I know he got KO'd badly, but that was in Santiago Ponzinibbio's spree through the welterweight division. He was a different man, I'm sure we can all agree. But Neil Magny also, in his career, I think he's been 5 rounds with Kelvin Gastelum, if I'm not mistaken here. I'm just going to check it right now. Yes, he has been 5 rounds with Kelvin Gastelum. He's got that experience in the tank. I think he'll take that into this bout and piece up Michael Chiesa in the later rounds. I'll say 4th or 5th round TKO for Neil Magny. He gets it done and moves on to bigger fights in that division. I don't know who it's going to be against. Maybe it can be if Chimaev beats Leon Edwards and needs one more bout. Magny can be that bout because he's a guy who's called him out previously and there's not a lot of those people. So Magny sticks out there promotion-wise. But if either one of these guys wins this one, I don't know what we're going to do with him next, to be honest with you, because the welterweight division is a fucking mess. I don't like it. I like these guys. They're good fighters, and they both put together good win streaks, but I don't know what each of them are going to gain from this bout. Maybe Wonder Boy, but then do you do that to Wonder Boy and make him fight another guy below him after you've just done that with Luke and Jeff Neal, thrown them to Wonder Boy below him? Now he's got to take on another guy on the rise as well. That would be a little bit unfair, so I have no idea what they're going to do in the welterweight division. So if I was Magny and Chiesa, I would make very smart words with my call out, and I would call out the loser of Usman versus Burns, because if it's Gilbert Burns, he's not a huge name where he's going to get all of these other fights in the welterweight division like the Covingtons or the Jorge Masvidals, so he might get left by those guys with the call outs. So if I'm Magny or Chiesa, I'm calling out the loser of Usman versus Burns, because no one's calling that out. No one calls out losers of bouts, and I think if they do, that's a good fair shot at getting themselves into the top of the division where they belong. If they do win this bout, that'll tell me that they're the best of the rest, other than maybe Vicente Luque. Maybe that's a bout they could also make, but I feel like Luque's going to want to get in there pretty soon. I'm going to go with Neil Magny getting the job done. He's been more active as well. He's fought under these conditions. Michael Chiesa has not fought since, January? I want to say against Rafael dos Anjos. Yes, I believe that was UFC Raleigh or something along those lines. JDS versus Blades. Was that JDS versus Blades? Yes, it was JDS versus Blades. UFC Raleigh. Great fight, but ages ago, hasn't fought under these conditions. Striking is abominable. I just don't want to watch it whatsoever. So I think he'll shoot takedowns, try and get Magny to the ground, fail at doing so for a large portion of the fight because Magny's got great takedown defense. And Magny will just, even if being taken down, survive the submission positions, because this is another thing I want to talk about. Magny can survive submission positions. I know he got submitted by RDA early into the fight, but we've seen him on the ground for a whole round with Damian Maia in mount against him and on his back in occasions as well, and he seemed to survive those situations. And that's Damian Maia back then when he was just strangling absolutely everyone. I know he got submitted in the second eventually, but you know, Neil Magny's got survivability. I also believe that jiu-jitsu is something that ages a little bit better than striking does. Like striking, it's more reliant on your fast twitch muscle fibers, your reaction time, your fitness, whereas submissions, it's something you can sort of acquire knowledge-wise. Like understanding of positions is a little bit, there's only so many times you have to be told how to throw a jab, but there's so many more intricate ways to pass a guard. You know what I'm saying? I feel like jiu-jitsu ages a little bit better, like more of a cheese rather than the milk of striking. You know what I mean? Ages pretty well. So I think Neil Magny's going to have a lot of experience there. 5-round experience as well. And I think he's going to piece apart Chiesa after he gasses out shooting too many takedowns, because both guys push a high pace. And we can go to their stats as well. Of course, Magny's got the 5-inch reach advantage here. And it's going to be the first time Michael Chiesa has taken on a guy taller than him in his entire career. That's a huge advantage in an MMA fight. People don't talk about that stuff. Neil Magny, being the extremity of a division, you're always fighting the same guy. The guy smaller than you, who either wants to take you down or wants to stand up with you. He's shorter than you. You know what he's going to be. But when you've got Michael Chiesa, he's fought everyone, I believe, in his career has been shorter than him. I would assume so. He was huge in the lightweight division. Off the top of my head, the only person I could ever consider being maybe bigger than Michael Chiesa. How tall is he? 6'1"? Maybe Carlos Condit is the same height as him. I think Condit's probably 6'1" as well. But Michael Chiesa, used to fighting guys shorter than him. is not going to be used to a guy who's as rangy as Neil Magny, but Magny fights the same size opponents pretty much every time, 6-foot welterweights, kind of in his wheelhouse at this point in his career. So I think Magny's going to be more used to things, and he will get the job done. Of course, he lands more per minute, strikes landed, but that's not to say anything because Chiesa doesn't really throw strikes because he knows he's not going to land them. But either way, Magny's got good accuracy, 48%. He throws 4 strikes a minute. He's got a good pace, but I wouldn't say he pushes a higher pace than Michael Chiesa, because Chiesa's pace is not in the striking. I know strikes per minute can dictate pace a little bit of what a guy's doing, but Chiesa invests all of his cardio into the grappling, so his is mainly based on how many takedowns he's going to shoot on a fight, and that's coming up to 4 every 15 minutes, or that's how many he gets, I guess. But yeah, I don't think he's going to beat Neil Magny. He's too hard to keep down. He's going to be too tall, too rangy. His wrestling and grappling has improved massively over the past couple of years. That's the one thing I've noticed in his game that's really made a dramatic increase, and I think that's what's led to all of his success. Now that he knows that he can't really be submitted, or he's got great takedown defense, now he's got that confidence behind him. It seems like he's really sitting down into his shots, and I think if he just picks punishing shots to the body, like that front that he has, or maybe a long jab to the body and some knees in the clinch as well, if he invests on Michael Chiesa, Chiesa does not have that damage-orientated style. He has to submit you on the ground if it's going to be effective over a 5-round fight, or put you in a bunch of submission positions. I think the striking of Magny in between the grappling exchanges is going to score him the points necessary, even if it looks like he's being taken down or held against the cage the entire time. Neil Magny gets the job done. 4th round TKO. Calls out the loser of Usman versus Burns. No shame there. And listen, I'm glad this got a main event in the middle of the week, because I would have loved to have seen Leon Edwards versus Khamzat Chimaev. However, this is pretty good as well. And I feel like both guys, 3-fight win streaks. It's a good competitive fight in the welterweight division. Highly ranked. Very good fighters in their own worlds. Of course, Chiesa's stand-up, again, is vomit-inducing. But, you know, good stuff. Main event. They deserve it. And this is like a builder card, in my opinion. And a very underrated card overall. If you look at the card of Magny versus Chiesa, my word. Oh, my word. I had to do a little Bisping impression there, because the prelims, I would say, are better than the main card, but the main card's got some raunchy ones on there as well. This is a builder card. Not very many huge names that are going to bring the attention to the card in the first place, but I feel like the excitement of Holloway Qatar just happening, and also Poirier versus McGregor 2 being just around the corner at the end of the week, is going to lead a lot of people to watch this card anyway, just because they're in the UFC spirit during the week, and I think it's going to lead to a lot of breakout performances. Ricky Simone, Sumad Duerji, Dalchadun Gimbula at middleweight. Francisco Figueiredo's fighting Mike Davis versus Mason Jones, Umar Nurmagomedov. I mean, there's a lot of fighters. Omari Akhmedov, Tom Breeze. I think after this card, we're going to be thankful that all of these names are on there, because they're all going to lead to being bigger names afterwards. And I think there's going to be a lot of breakout stars here. Lerone Murphy on the main card. Nam versus Schnell, a good fight. Ike Villanueva versus Vinicius Moher. But Munir Lazez is a good fight as well. Roxanne Modafferi. They're not all good fights, but you know, some good ones. Thank you for watching the video. Like and subscribe. Click that button up there. Neil Magny via 4th round TKO finish, because Chiesa gasses out and has nothing left in the tank after wasting all of his energy on takedowns he's not going to get. Goodbye.